Hello friends, welcome back to the operations management class. Last class we were discussing about aggregate planning. Aggregate means in total. So now we are going to discuss one more kind of planning methodology which allows for any company production unit to fulfill the available demand in the market. Understand, which is nothing but the master production scheduling. What is that? The master production schedule, MPS. Now aggregate planning, MPS, and again you are going to discuss one more kind, MRP. MRP stands for material requirement planning and also capacity planning. All these are all various kinds of planning techniques or methods which makes any company to withstand with existing competition in the market, right? All these are all part and parcel of PPC. What do you know PPC? Already we have discussed in the first unit, production planning and control. Planning in the sense having the desired goals, isn't it? By considering the available resources, men, material, machines. Controlling is nothing but whether all the operations or activities, whatever you are performing, are on track. If anything is derailed, setting him into the on track is called as what you call controlling. So under production planning and control, all these what you called methods will come. Aggregate planning, production scheduling, isn't it? Master production scheduling, material requirement planning, capacity planning, all these things. And in the last class we came to know what is aggregate planning. For upcoming 1 year or more than 1 year, isn't it? What should be the level of production? What kind of products should be produced? Understand? What will be the demand in the market? Such a way having that planning, that horizon, time horizon would be longer in time, more in time. You call such a kind of planning methods are aggregate planning. If you split the aggregate planning into further, you will get the next level of planning, what you call that one as the master production scheduling. Master production scheduling. Come in reverse order. Scheduling means time wise. Scheduling. Day wise, week wise, month wise, quarterly, how much you need to produce. For how many patients you need to give the service. How many extra seats should be created in any aeroplane, isn't it? You call such a kind of activity as scheduling. So mastering production scheduling means to have the complete picture in what you call in the desired short range. I mean to say within 1 year or a few months, what kind of operations you are going to perform. What do you call that one as master production scheduling. So in short, you call this one as MPS. So MPS sets the quantity of each end item to be completed in its time period. Here time period would be a week, a month, tri-monthly, quarterly, whatever may be. Of the short range planning. So what is MPS? MPS falls under short range planning. So within 1 year. So what are the planning methods? Long range would be there, medium range would be there, short range would be there, isn't it? Now what are the objectives of the master production scheduling? To schedule end items to be completed promptly and when promised to the customers. As you all know that for these upcoming months, 2 or 3 months, winter season would be there in India. Then what happens generally, the sales of coolers, air conditioners, fans, isn't it? These kinds of item sales are going to be less. But keeping this one as a buffer, the production units will plan in upcoming summer what should be the expected sales. For to meet that expected sales, you call that forecasting information. They need to plan before itself, now itself, what should be the each item what to call production. Like ceiling fans would be there, tabletop fans would be there, pedestal fans would be there. Do you know pedestal fan? Generally in the office purpose they use. Okay, mounting fans would be there. So every product line is having its own importance if you take what you called the market, because every product is going to be preferred by different kinds of customers. Through the master production scheduling, you are going to fix up that information. Number of products should be produced to avoid overloading or underloading of the production facility. This is very, very important. What is the one more objective of MPS? It avoids burden on the machines. It avoids burden on the workers. That is also most important. If more burden is there on the worker, he will become fatigued. Because of that, he may go for absenting his regular duties. Sometimes extremity kind of step also he can have, like leaving the job. So not to have such kind of unexpected things, MPS will help us, isn't it, for appropriate planning. So these two are very, very important objectives of MPS. One is called scheduling end items, and what you called having appropriate plan to avoid overloading and as well as underloading, whatever may be that, machinery, workers, whatever may be. Then what are the main functions of master production scheduling? Which are nothing but translating the aggregate plans, evaluating alternative master schedules, generating material and capacity requirements, facilitating information process, maintaining priorities, utilizing the capacity effectively. So these are few very, very important functions. Let us go to the first one, what you call translating aggregate plans. As you all know that when aggregate planning is going to be created, generally the high level people will be involved. Information would be there regarding financial status of the company to the actual marketing position. So here, when you are using master production scheduling, the information whichever irrelevant to the production area will be not considered. So whichever is important, that only considered, and based upon that appropriate production activities will be taken place. What do you call this one as translating? And one more is, when you go for MPS, it evaluates all other possible availabilities as far as meeting or satisfying the existing demand is concerned, and which helps us what you called generating material and capacity requirements. More people are there, more machinery are there, without sufficient raw material, they will be idle. Same way, abundant raw material is available, but the capacity of machinery, human force is concerned, which will not satisfy to the level of required activities, which is also not good for the organization. So here balance should be created. That balance creation is possible by using MPS, and also facilitates information processing. So when processing activity is considered, unwanted information will be deleted. Okay, so maintaining the priorities based upon the activities, and finally utilizing the capacity effectively. So these are very, very important functions of MPS, master production scheduling, when it comes after aggregate planning. So this is order. Before that, what will be there? Production planning and control. So here you see this slide. The tree structure of various planning methods are there. First, information is there through the forecasting and other activities. And immediate planning activities, what? Aggregate planning. Okay. After that, tentatively MPS will be created. So in the next few slides, you are going to have time frames also. So what do you need? Tentative MPS. So this will be tested in different time phases. After undergoing various what you called testing operations, finally one set what you call master production will be considered. So that's why this is called the tentative MPS. So after final MPS, and that will be what you called subdivided into MRP, material requirement planning, and capacity requirement planning. This already we discussed in the previous classes, CRP, isn't it? See here, from aggregate planning to how many plannings? MPS is there, again that MPS subdivided into MRP and as well as the CRP. And finally, it leads to what we called output. So just now, we came to know that what do you mean by master production scheduling. Then here you are going to understand actually how to produce, what is that procedure to create a excellent MPS, master production scheduling. So to have excellent or successful master production scheduling, okay, first of all you need to have the information of gross requirement of the materials. What is that? Gross requirement of the material. What do you mean gross requirement? In total, what are the things required for conducting or producing any kind of activities? Let us take cement industry itself. What are the main resources required for production of cement? It's in nothing but limestone. So abundant limestones are required and water facilities are required, okay, and various what you call ingredient chemicals are required. So what you call this one as, first you need to decide the gross requirement. That gross requirement will be what you called subdivided into actual size. What you call this one as net requirements. Two-wheeler would be there. Two-wheeler, if you subdivide it into various components like chassis parts would be there. Electrical parts would be there. Rubber items would be there, isn't it? Actually, how many tires are required? Generally, two-wheeler means 2 tires. That is going to be the neck requirement. And how many bulbs required as far as the electrical items are concerned? What should be the capacity of the battery? So what you call this one as net requirements. First to create information of what you called gross requirement. You subdivide that, you get net requirements. And rising preliminary master production schedule. Previously we understood trial. Still if at all any adjustments are there, you do for that. And create load report generation. This is most important. Load reports in the sense, both machine and worker, their actual capacities will be considered. Overload, underload of machine and as well as the worker, both is unacceptable. Both leads to failure. Failure of the machinery would be there. You can create disinterest in the workmanship of the employee or else the worker. That should not be there. So through this load report generation, you are going to come to analyze the actual capacity of the both machine and as well as the worker. And the final one is match MRP and CRP. What is MRP? Material requirement. and capacity requirement planning. This is called the MPS planning procedure. In any company, create as a whole how much is required. What do you call that? Gross requirement. Subdivide all that information into categories. You call that one as a net requirements. You create a preliminary MPS, master production schedule. Again go through that. If at all any adjustments are required, you do that. Create load reports, and finally go for matching what is that material requirement planning and capacity requirement planning. What do you call this? Master production scheduling. Okay. This is a very, very important discussion. Time frame of MPS. Okay. What do you mean time frame? The actual time duration in which you can go for various changes of the MPS without affecting further is known as the time frame. The time frame generally when you are planning for master production scheduling can be divided into 4 categories. One is frozen, firm, full, open. The first stage is frozen stage. Now here generally in the MPS, if at all any changes are required, like any changes would be there in the aggregate planning, immediately upsurge of the demand would be there. You will be observing in the market only for few models huge demand will be observed. So whenever more orders comes from the shopkeepers, isn't it? That much production they need to send to that particular outlets. Then what happens here? Adjustments are required as far as the production activities is concerned. So in the frozen state, some changes will be accepted based upon the available information. Like that firm stage, here also the changes are acceptable but subject to certain norms, isn't it? Like full and the final one is the open. When the MPS reaches to the final stage, open stage, most of the time changes will not be taken place. So what do you call this one as? This is called as time frames of MPS. So frozen, firm, full, open. So this finishes what you call subtopic under unit 2. Now here this is what you called some important material purposeful to you. I am explaining this. The next one is a material requirement planning. I told you already, aggregate planning divided into what you called MPS, master production scheduling. Again the MPS will be subdivided into what you called material requirement planning and as well as the capacity requirement planning. What do you mean material requirement planning? Which is a computerized information that aids the planning of materials in manufacturing the organization. Generally, material requirement planning concern with the what you call supply of the raw material. As you know, when inflow of the raw material hinders, suffers, absolutely it is going to affect the end product. That flow should be there, that continuation, isn't it? Activity should go ahead, isn't it? So for that reason is concerned, the material requirement planning is very, very important. So MRP is a computer based system in which the given MPS is exploded into the required amounts of raw material, parts and sub-assemblies needed to produce the end items in each time of the planning horizon. So finally, how much each and every material is required can be calculated by material requirement planning. Next we are going to discuss one of the methods for calculating MRP, which is nothing but what? BOM, bills of material. So what are the objectives? To improve customer service by meeting delivery schedules, what I told you. So intermittently, if the flow of the raw material affects, finally it affects to the delivery of what you called final goods. To reduce the inventory cost, to improve the plant operating efficiency. What are the MRP purposes? Control inventory levels, assign operating priorities, assign capacity to load production systems. So this is called MRP, material requirement planning. So what are the things happening in the material requirement planning? You observe in the left hand side inputs, inventory status file, master production scheduling, BOM. All that information will be processed. And what is output? Inventory transactions data, planned under schedule, exception reports. What do you mean bills of material? Here individually, each and every item if mentioned, you call that bills of material. So let us see this slide. This is a telephone. Do you know telephone means? A receiver would be there, caps would be there, okay, jocks would be there. So what are the numbers are given? Generally that entire setup is concerned, one base unit is required, one connection table is required, one here, and how many jocks are required to, so one handset is required. Like that if you observe how many buttons are required, 12 buttons, 1 to 9 number buttons, and other parts, some other options would be there. So like that how many buttons required? 12 buttons, 12 screws required, 3 dial screws again 3. Such a way, for a final product, intermittently what are the subcomponents are required. With that number if you mentioned, you call that one as a bills of material. Such a way you take a car. In a car, how many internal, various kinds of machineries will be interconnected, like engine would be there, again electrical parts would be there, mirror items would be there, isn't it? But each and every item, what is its number? For particular number of cars, if you mention that one, you call that one as bills of material. So this is one example for a simple product, what you call the telephone. Now again, what is this inventory status file? So which is nothing but complete end up to date information on hand quantities. You call that inventory status. What is inventory? Inventory is nothing but goods which are stored for future purpose. Isn't it? So what is this formula? Net requirement for a period is equal to gross requirement for the period minus scheduled receipt for the period plus on hand inventory at the end of the period. So these are MRP outputs. What are the primary outputs? Material requirement planning, planned orders, order release, changes. These are the primary advantages. Based upon that, what are other considerable advantages? Performance control reports, planning reports, exception reports. Okay. This capacity planning requirement already we read. So what are the things we covered? Nothing but fixed capacity. We took one truck example, adjustable capacity, design capacity, system capacity. Okay. So this is what actually master production scheduling. So till now what we covered? So earlier we covered aggregate planning, and after that today master production scheduling. So under master production scheduling, what is the subdivision, like material requirement planning, and one more is capacity planning. Okay. And in the next class, we go for very important mathematical tool for creating one sequence, nothing but activity sequence. You call it job sequence. Okay. Thank you so much.